Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Malolele from the Kingdom of Tonga, where I am delivering a training on the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities for persons with disabilities in Tonga. Allow me to start by saying that the opportunity to present at this significant conference is very important. So I thank the organizer for allowing me to present via this platform and hope that you are able to see and hear me. Transparency and accountability, as we all know, are critical elements of good governance. As not only that these elements keep our government to their promises, allow them to report on the outcomes, and also allow them to identify critical and concrete evidence to ensure that the investments of donors, for instance, are well used. So allow me to present from the perspective of persons with disabilities as to how we have been engaged in this work as a civil society organization. One of the critical roles of us as trainers of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities is to ensure we provide trainings to our people in countries on analyzing government budgets so that we are able to influence and provide submissions so that governments fulfill their obligations on the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities to provide support to the organizations of persons with disabilities. So we have been doing this work for quite a while, and if I can provide an example that's recent, in last year we have been working with the Pacific Disability Forum with the technical and financial support of the Disability Rights Fund to do a training for our CRPD resource team on inclusive budgeting. Inclusive budgeting means how can we look at the budget and how can we ensure that government are spending more on disability work. So a few highlights of the experience that we had. Firstly, when looking at budgets, government budgets, they are 300 to 400 pages long, and in a format that most of our persons with disabilities, for instance, those who are blind and visually impaired, are not able to access. Secondly, the budget is lacking in terms of disaggregated data. For instance, though we know that the government is doing things on disability, the budgets are not showing that. Thirdly, there's very limited reports or outcome-based reports. For instance, if we take the Ministry of Education, we talk about the number of students, for instance, who are enrolled in schools, the number of students who are enrolled in secondary and get this and that. However, not even in those budgets where it says the number of persons with disabilities who have been enrolled in these schools and are benefiting from whatever support that's available. For instance, the number of students with disabilities who receive sign language, or the number of students with disabilities who receive Braille, or the number of students with disabilities who are accessing mobility devices. So those kind of data, though we know it from working with the ministries, but unless they are disaggregated in the budget, we will not be able to understand. So, for us, as a way forward, it is very critical that we know, well, at least I know, the role of this institution. And if you allow us to recommend that one of the role of your institution is to provide trainings for civil society organizations, so they are not only able to look at the budget, understand it, and be able to influence what's in the budget to ensure transparency and accountability. Secondly, we talk about citizens' budgets. If that can be done in a way that is accessible to anyone, I understand that providing things in PDF forms is critical and presentable at government level. However, if we are to work as civil societies, and considering that our level of understanding is very limited, we need to not only be provided with trainings, but also with the format that we can read and write and understand. Thirdly, through that work, if there will be an opportunity that will be provided for civil society organizations to be part of the budget preparations, so that we are able to know the developments and align it to our work as civil societies, and also so that we are able to influence for the best interest of civil society. Lastly but not the least, I believe to ensure accountability and transparency, capacity building is of paramount. Capacity building in terms of trainings and education, and capacity building in terms of providing CSOs with the adequate resources so that they are able to do their work of analyzing, influencing, and implementing together with government, as only that will ensure that public investments are in its good use. I thank you.